Can it get any worse for the Metropolitan Police? Today's report is hugely damning, with each page another alarming finding. Some of those inside the force have told us what they think of the conclusions.
I'm not surprised, but I do feel vindicated. Being called racist names, being told I'm a monkey, and now this proves I wasn't the one who was wrong. They are wrong.
Londoners and others will be asking, how are these officers recruited in the first place, and how robust is the vetting? Dame Louise Casey's assessment on this is scathing. She says the vetting system is broken, there is minimal supervision, training and development is not taken seriously, there are no training records, and the Met do not know what their workforce needs. People are doing jobs they are not trained to do. That statement alone exposes a vulnerability in London policing, where some officers haven't been checked out properly before being hired. We've seen that highlighted through the cases of Cousins and Carrick. The Met will now want to be more thorough, but that of course takes more time when it's desperate to hire more officers.
I think the difficulty we have now is the police were reduced by 20,000 police officers in the last 10 years. 18,500 police staff. They're in the process of replacing those 20,000 police officers. So they're trying to wave them in as quickly as possible. And quite frankly, the government have set a deadline of sort of May this year, in which all those officers are going to be recruited and put into place. And I think the danger is that the police forces around the country, this is not just a Met problem, this is across the country, will cut corners.
Dame Louise Casey reviewed the Met's investigation into live and historic cases of alleged domestic abuse and sexual misconduct by serving officers. 42 of 452 individuals included in their investigations were linked in some way to allegations of sexual misconduct or domestic abuse at the point of initial vetting to join the Met. In 34 cases where there was a link to an allegation, the vetting team in the Met had not shared this information, so it was not on the misconduct intelligence system. There were at least 2 cases where applicants had been let in, despite previous convictions or acquittals for rape having been identified. The review recommends the Met should introduce vetting throughout an officer's service, with a focus on identifying what it calls predators who want to abuse the powers of a police officer from joining or staying in the force. This is one point of reform suggested, but does the whole force need overhaul?
I believe that it should be broken up. Its national functions, like counter-terrorism, put in a national organisation, and the organisation which polices London be a different, separate and renamed organisation. The precedent is with the Royal Ulster Constabulary. The Royal Ulster Constabulary just had no confidence amongst so many communities in Northern Ireland, so they had to reconstitute it, new name, Police Service of Northern Ireland, and it's now, it has confidence and it's functioning properly. If you could do it for the RUC, you can do it for the Met.
The Home Secretary said the task of rooting out unfit officers means further unacceptable cases will come to light. Dame Louise Casey can't assure us there isn't another Cousins or Carrick in the Met, arguably a damning indictment on previous commissioners of Britain's largest force. The Met's new boss is now tasked with turning things round and rebuilding the trust that has been so severely damaged among millions of Londoners.